Why does the British government and its executive bodies have such an institutional bias against Sikhs? In a shocking interview over the weekend on Sky News, the government's controversial advisor on social cohesion, Sara Khan, casually listed Sikh extremism first as she talked about extremism in the UK, in the same breath as far-right extremism.
And what my review is going to show is it's really inaccurate, I have to say, to suggest that the issue of freedom restricting harassment or extremism or all these other divisions that we're seeing in our society is being somehow only a problem coming from Muslim communities. It is a much more broader problem, whether we're talking about Sikh fundamentalism, far-right extremism, and also then activity. We don't know who's responsible for delivering on it. So it's a much more broader problem in our society.
Sara Khan was also heavily criticised in 2019 when she was responsible for another governmental counter-extremism report, in which she singled out Sikh extremism as a threat alongside far-right and Islamic extremism. Her references to Sikh extremism in all cases has been extensively criticised and has not been backed up by credible evidence. Khan was made a dame for her activism in 2022 under the UK's increasingly ridiculed honours system, which has been seen as primarily rewarding establishment supporters. The same system that saw the widely reviled Tony Blair knighted to public uproar and protest. But the wider question remains why the British establishment consistently aligns with the Indian narrative designed to marginalise Sikhs and somehow associate them with terrorism, a tactic now extensively used in India by the extreme right-wing BJP government. Examples abound over recent decades, including covert support for Indira Gandhi's attack on the Harmandir Sahib in 1984, in which tens of thousands of innocent Sikh men, women and children were murdered by Indian troops. The recent death of Avtar Singh Kandar, likely caused by Indian agents, yet any investigation deliberately obstructed by West Midlands Police and the Coroner's Office. The same police force colluding with the Indian government to raid the homes of 5 Sikhs in the West Midlands in 2018. Narendra Modi's dossier handed to David Cameron in 2015, containing the names of India's targets, one of whom was Kandar himself. And the glaring disinterest in British citizen Jagtar Singh Johal, languishing in an Indian prison without trial for 6 years. The list goes on. And now, with evidence mounting of Indian hit squads roaming the global Sikh diaspora, looking for their next target to murder, the British government and its Hindu Prime Minister remain silent and unresponsive to calls for protection and basic justice from the Sikh community. All of which points to a British establishment deeply influenced and working in cahoots with elements of the Indian establishment, supporting the widely held belief that colonial rule in India never really ended, and instead it continues to operate between New Delhi and London. You've been watching Satellite TV News. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button to make sure you get to see stories as they're broadcast. And of course, if you have any comments or opinions on any of our news stories, you can comment below. Or why not drop us a direct message@satellitetv.com. We do like to hear from you. In the meantime, thanks for watching. For Satellite TV News, I'm Angus Scott in London.